What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Thanksgiving week. Turkey Day to everyone. Week 12, Fantasy QB, wide receiver rankings. The host here, the warden, with my boy, once again, back at it again, the guru. What's going on, guru?
It's going good, man. Things are going good. We are Thanksgiving week, week 12, fantasy wise. Uh, I'm looking at 10-1 and climbing up the ladder in my other league. So things are good. Things are
Man,
going really good, man. Uh, would like to see few of my Bears defenders play a little better down in the last minute and a half of the game. But other than that, no complaints, man. No complaints at all.
hey, we got your
Just
Bears
looking
on Turkey
for that.
Day. We got my Raiders on Turkey Day. So man, let's hope for some good. Let's hope for some good blessings. Besides that turkey macaroni and cheese, gravy, gravy and all that stuff, man. The greens and everything. Let's hope for some W's with us this week too.
They'll say stuff that left column with a win with a W. Yeah.
Yeah, I took an L
All right.
this. I took an L this week, man. So I got to bounce back. You know what I mean? But
Ooh,
we're all
even
right.
with
We're
that,
still. What's that,
even with that, even with Eckler playing the way he did.
man? My QBs didn't come through, man. I had Wentz. I had Stafford on the bye week, so I picked up Mac Jones, pretty boy Mac, and you know Mac did what he did. He was conservative. He got the win. You know what I mean? He didn't do much.
Yeah.
Got me a few points, but I still took an L. But it's okay though. You know what I mean? I'm still sitting at 7-4. Tie. We got a four-way tie for first place at 7-4. What you think about that, huh?
Yeah, I
Um,
had Tom Brady in my main little league, so it's always nice to let him ride. But I had my other league. I had Dak Prescott. Man, Dak laid an egg, man. And
yeah,
that's the second time this year he's done that.
it
That's the
is,
second
man.
time he's showed up with under double digit points.
Yeah,
And as bad as you want to say he's an elite quarterback, fantasy wise, when the chips are down, you have to find a way. And he lost Lamb, he never had Cooper, but you got to find a way to make things happen.
you got to find a way.
You
You
know,
got
he's
to,
he's
man.
he's a fleet-footed man. Get rolling.
Yeah, yeah,
Get out there and use your legs a little bit. Use your backs. He wasn't throwing to the running backs like they normally do,
yeah.
and both of them are very good receiving out of the backfield. It's like make stuff happen, even if you got to move playing both at the same time. And you got your offensive coordinator thinking, "Hey, man, move Elliott out there in a receiver's position for 8 or 10 snaps. You just get something going." And
Yeah.
they had nothing going. So that said, let's step right into the Week 12 rankings. Hopefully, it's a little better for everybody out there.
All right, man.
Congratulations if you had. Congratulations, by the way, if you had Jonathan. Um,
Jonathan
oh
Taylor.
man, Jonathan Taylor. Yes, I agree. Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was a miracle worker in this past weekend. He did it all again. But let's get to the quarterback ranks. I'll let you get it started off there, if you would, Mr. Warden. We'll start with you off.
Number one, you know, what can we say? Bounce back again, man. He's the GOAT. That's why he's number one. Tom Brady away against Indy this week. I like that matchup there. Number two, Dak Prescott at home against my Raiders on Thursday's game. So make sure you get your lineups in quick. Uh, Number three, Lamar Jackson. He'll be back this week against the Browns. Had feeling a little bit under the weather, so he should be back this week. Justin Herbert coming in at four. Number five, Josh Allen. This guy, he's got to bounce back here, man. I don't know what's going on with the wagons out there, but they got to get him. They got to start circling those wagons out there in Buffalo. Six, man, this guy he just keeps getting it done, man. He's a good fantasy pickup, man. Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, man. He's a good fantasy guy to have. Number seven, Aaron Rodgers, bump toe, but he's Aaron Rodgers, so he'll get it done regardless. Number eight, Russell Wilson. He's away against the football team. Number nine, coming off the bye week, Matthew Stafford. I'm looking forward to putting him back in my lineup. Number 10, Carson Wentz. Number 11, Jimmy Garoppolo. And number 12, come on, Derek Carr, please. Please do something. Do something. Just win, baby. Just win. That's all I got to
I
say.
think they stand.
That's all I got to say, Guru. I got nothing else to say about my Raiders right now, man.
I think they stand a pretty good chance of competing with Dallas. Dallas, with a few of their main cogs are out, so they're going to have to get creative. They have the talent on offense to do it. Just see if they follow through. Sticking with the rankings there, number 13, we go with Matt Ryan of the Falcons against the Jaguars. 14, Kirk Cousins of the Vikings at 49ers. 15, Joe Burrow of the Bengals playing the Steelers. 16, Matt Jones, Patriots. Number 17, Cam Newton creeps a little further up the rankings again. He's playing well.
Cam.
Number
Oh,
18,
Cam.
Trevor Lawrence. Uh, 18, Trevor Lawrence of the Jags. 19, Tyrod Taylor of the Texans playing the Falcons. Number 20, Taylor Henke of the football team, Washington football team, playing home against the Seahawks. Number 21, Daniel Jones of the Giants, who may have had the most embarrassing interception that I remember seeing. He was darn near falling down, and he threw it right into the arms of a defensive lineman. I
The
mean,
most embarrassing
there was
anyone
no,
ever seen. Anyone has ever seen.
yeah, that ranks up there with that butt fumble from years ago. Um, Number 22, Ryan Tannehill, who they got a lot to turn around there. They have a lot to turn around. And the Titans, and they're playing the Patriots, and that's not going to be easy because the Patriots have been smashing people on defense the last few weeks. Um, Number 23, Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins at home against the Panthers. 24, Baker Mayfield with the Browns at the Ravens. And rounding them off, Big Red, Andy Dalton of the Bears
Big Red.
against
Andy Dighead
against the
Dalton.
Lions. That's the only reason. Well, there's a couple reasons actually. Andy Dalton creeps back into the rankings. Number one, you have the injury to Fields, but Mooney has played pretty well the last 4 or 5 games, and last 2 weeks you actually had Allen Robinson show up and act like he's playing. Now you got a veteran quarterback back in Andy Dalton, who at the beginning of the year, he was looking Robinson's way. So, maybe that'll help both. And we'll talk more about that a little later um, about the Bears situation. But that rounds off the top 25 in the quarterbacks rankings. And we'll move ahead to the wide receivers, top 40. And we'll go with number one, coming off the bye week, Cooper Kupp, the Rams, at the Packers. Number two, Devonta Adams of the Packers, staying in that same game at home against the Rams. Number three, Debo Samuel, even though he's been down on targets the last 2 weeks, they're finding unique ways to get him into the offense. He had, I think, 10 rushes last week, or a touchdown. Number four, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver of the week last week. He was a beast. On the Vikings, that's 49ers. Number five, Stephon Diggs of the Bills, who also had a nice game last week, at the Saints. Number six, Jamar Chase of the Bengals. Number seven, Chris Godwin of the Bucks, at the Colts. Number eight, DK Metcalf of the Seahawks. There's a little injury note on him, so you might want to keep your eyes open with Metcalf. Number nine, Mike Evans of the Bucks at the Colts. And rounding out the top 10 will be Cordarrelle Patterson. Hopefully he's back. I'm sure you'd be anxious to get him in your lineup, as would everybody else, because he's a definite miss when he's not there, man. He hurts your lineup, man. That guy was getting it done, no matter if you're using him as a wide receiver or running back or whatever. He was putting up nice points for everybody, and hopefully he'll get him back in the lineup this week. But that rounds out the top 10.
All right, keep it going. Number 11, Michael Pittman Jr. with Indy. Number 12 had a big game this weekend. Keenan Allen with the Chargers. 13, Deontay Johnson with the Steelers. Number 14, Hollywood Brown. He's back this week with the Ravens. 15, Elijah Moore of the Jets. This young kid had a nice game this past week with old Flacco out there. But we see that I hear the young boy is back. So we'll see if Elijah can keep it going. Number 16, no relation to Elijah. I'm sorry, not Elijah. I'm sorry. 16 is DJ Moore. He's no relation to Elijah, though. Out of Carolina. 17, Darnell Mooney, as you just spoke about him earlier, with the Bears coming in at 17. 18, Terry McLaurin with the football team. 19, Tyler Lockett, and rounding out the top 20 out of Minnesota will be Adam Thielen.
All right. Scooting right on, we'll go with number 21 is Michael Gallup of the Cowboys. He's looking more and more like he's going to be the number one receiver there this week again. Number 2, Mike Williams of the Chargers. Had a bounce back game a little bit. They're playing the Broncos. A.J. Brown comes in at 23. And again, that's a little bit of a injury question as well. Number 24, Brandon Cooks of the Texans taking on the Jets. Number 25, Emmanuel Sanders of the Bills at the Saints. 26, Jason Waddle of the Dolphins at home against the Panthers. 27, Devonta Smith of the Eagles. They're at the Giants. Number 28, Marvin Jones of the Jags, home against the Falcons. 29, Jerry Jeudy of the Broncos, home against the Chargers. Number 30, Chase Claypool of the Steelers. That rounds out the top 30.
All righty. 31, Cortland Sutton with Denver. 32, the number one receiver out in Las Vegas, Hunter Renfrow. No offense, Hunter. No offense, man. But I'm just saying. 32, Van Jefferson out of Los Angeles Rams. 34, Allen Robinson with the Bears. 35, Jarvis Landry with Cleveland. 36, Brandon Ayuk with the Niners. 37, we've got Rashad Bateman out of Baltimore, followed by Kendrick Bourne out of Carolina at 38. 39, T. Higgins out of Natty. And rounding out your top 40, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., coming off the bye week there, inserted into the lineup a little bit more. Got some plays. I bet Sean McVay probably got some plays drawn up for him as well. So on the road, out in Green Bay, so I'm looking forward to seeing OBJ blow up and prove us wrong that he's the 40th ranked this week. Hoping to see him do some big things this week. That rounds up your top 40 of wide receivers for your Week 12, Guru.
Indeed it do. Indeed it do. There are a few things that we can talk about this week. One we have touched on it a little bit. It was the Bears are playing on Thanksgiving Day. They're playing without starting rookie quarterback Justin Fields, who's dealing with a rib injury. Wide receiver Darnell Mooney has been slowly climbing up the weekly rankings and should continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Allen Robinson has also looked much improved the past few weeks and should serve as a safe wide receiver 3 against the Lions' porous defense and possibly beyond that. So look for Allen Robinson. Hopefully, they have a nice second half of the season.
Okay. What about the boys out there in Dallas, man? They've got 2 starters out. Let's talk about them a little bit, Guru.
Well, they played Sunday, and they act like they changed uniforms with the lowly Texans. The Texans are horrible, and they look just as bad. With Amari Cooper already out, CeeDee Lamb got his brain scrambled as time expired in the first half Sunday. And even though he has been entered in the concussion protocol this week, head coach Mike McCarthy is optimistic and says that Lamb should be ready to go on Thursday. Either way, if Lamb plays or whether he doesn't, wide receiver Michael Gallup is a must start this week. But if Lamb and Cooper are both out, a little sleeper comes into play here. It's Cedric Wilson becomes a sneaky flex option. So monitor the situation carefully. If Lamb is out there on the field, you might want to ease off of Cedric Wilson. But either way, we'll want to get Gallup into all your lineups as quick as we can for this week as well, until both of those guys are back on the field, Lamb and Cooper.
Okay. We've got the Chiefs on a bye week. We've got the Cardinals on a bye week. So you've got some guys that's out. You got Mahomes. You've got Kelsey. You've got the Cheetah. You've got Murray. You've got Hopkins. So you got quite a few weapons that some guys got a bench this week. So real quick, Guru, any sleepers out there and on the waiver wires, receiver wise, that some of these guys may look to pick up? I know you talked about Gallup and Wilson.
Well,
Anybody else out there?
you had Murray and Hopkins. They've been disappointing their fantasy GMs now for about 3 or 4 weeks now due to injuries that they said wouldn't be a big deal. And next thing you know, the guys are missing a month. I can't stand when teams play games with the injury list. If the guy's hurt, just say he's hurt. Say he's going to need 3 weeks. Let people know instead of going week to week and say, hey, he might play, and pull the rug out from underneath people at the last minute. So if you've had a couple of those Cardinal players, you've been struggling for the last month, and you had to do it one more week because this is their bye. Who I like to fill in, if you wanted to go get Tyrod Taylor and stick him in to your lineup, they're playing the Jets. The Jets are one of the worst teams in football, and their secondary is an absolute nightmare. The if you're looking for a receiver, you stay with the same team and you go with Brandon Cooks. I mean, I know he's usually a starter, or a flex player, but he's someone that you definitely want to get in this week for the Texans. They should. Him and Tyrod Taylor worked very well together earlier in the season. Last couple of games hasn't been so much. It hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been the greatest yet. Look for that to turn around. Another guy, quarterback that you can look for is Andy Dalton again. Developing a chemistry there with Mooney and with Robinson. We had discussed that. Andy Dalton, we'll put a Band-Aid on it for this week. And if Cam Newton is still available, you better jump on him.
Yeah.
And you might want to roster him for the rest of the season.
Right. Because
of the way he's been playing. He's been definitely starter material. Maybe not an elite option, but definitely a guy you can feel comfortable putting in your lineup and going the rest of the season if you had to. So that's who I got. Quarterback, wide receivers.
Okay.
Adam Thielen, I think, will have a big game this week. They had Jefferson had a huge game this past week. And I think you get a little extra attention after you put up a game like that on defense, whoever you're playing. So look for Thielen to find some openings, a little softer defense. And Marvin Jones of the Jags, they're playing the Falcons. Falcons give it up to wide receivers. Marvin Jones has had a couple of down weeks, but he's still a quality NFL receiver. Good player still. Had some nice fantasy games earlier this year. But that whole team is up and down. They're very young, and I would look for him to have a nice game this week. So you get him into your lineup, and you won't be disappointed. Marvin Jones Jr.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You got your picks of the week, your guys that you may want to look to insert at the QB receiver position. We're going to come back in just a bit, talk running backs and tight ends. As you know, Kelsey is out on the bye week, and so is Zach Ertz. So you got to insert some tight ends. So the guru will go over our top 20 rankings for tight end, and we'll talk about a sleeper or two to insert into that lineup. So we'll be back in just a bit with your Week 12 fantasy running back and tight end rankings.
All right, catch you on the flip side, folks. Peace.